Welcome to a video taking a look at trigonometry. This time we're looking at finding a missing angle. So here we've got 5 steps that we need to follow in order to do this. First of all, we need to label the triangle, then we tick across, choose a formula, substitute into a formula and calculate your answer. Now this only works when we have got a right angle triangle and we know 2 of the sides and we are looking for a missing side. So in this example here, we've got the side of 10 centimeters, a side of 8 centimeters, and then an angle that we are trying to find. Now, in order to do this, we use some formulas. We use the formulas soh-cah-toa. So these are just trigonometric ratios. We can think of them as formulas, and we'll take a look at how we can follow these steps to find out what that missing angle is, given that this is a right angle triangle with a side of 8 and 10. So let's make a start. First off, we need to label our triangle. So in order to do this, first of all, I need to work out where is my hypotenuse. My hypotenuse is my longest side of the right angle triangle. So that side there is my hypotenuse. Then this side here is my opposite. The opposite is opposite where the angle is. Then lastly, the side that hasn't been labelled yet, this is what we call the adjacent. Okay, this side can be thought of as the side that is not the opposite of the hypotenuse, or we can think about it as being the side that is touching the angle that we're looking for, but is not the longest side of the right angle triangle. Okay, so that is our first step done. We've labelled up our triangle. We then need to tick or cross. So what this means is we tick the sides which have something next to it. So the sides which are important to us. What sides do we know something about? Well, we've got the 10 next to the hypotenuse, we've got the 8 next to the adjacent. So we tick those 2 sides. The O, the opposite, has got nothing next to it. So we can cross that out. So it's the adjacent and the hypotenuse which are important to us. So that means that we can then, we've now ticked across, we can then choose a formula. We choose our formula based on the sides that we ticked. Here we ticked the adjacent and the hypotenuse, so we are going to select the Ka formula. We can't select the soh or the toa because we are dealing with the A and the H. So we are using the formula which has A and H in it. So the Ka. Now the way that these formulas work is that if they're on different levels, we divide, so we would do A divided by C or A divided by H. If they're on the same level, we multiply. Now what are we actually looking for here? We've already got the A, we have already got the H. We need to cover up the thing that we're looking for. We're looking for the angle. So we're not going to cover up the H because we already know what that is. We're not going to cover up the A because we know what that is. We're going to cover up the C. The C, that refers to the angle that we're looking for. Okay, and specifically it stands for cos. Now we're looking for the angle. If we are looking for the angle, we have to use the inverse of cos, which is on your calculator written as cos to the minus 1. Okay, now we've done that, what we're doing is we're doing the A divided by the H, the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. So the A, the adjacent is 8 divided by the hypotenuse, which is 10. So we have chosen our formula by selecting Ka. Now we've substituted into it. We've covered up the bit that we're looking for. If you are looking for the angle, unlike the side, if you're looking for the angle, you have to do the inverse of cos. So it's cos to the minus 1, and then it's 8 divided by 10. So typing that into the calculator, we get the inverse of cos by clicking on Shift and cos. So we can see that's brought up there. Then we put it in brackets, 8 divided by 10. And that gives us an answer of 36.869896765. We'll just give that to the nearest degree. So because degrees are quite small, it seems sensible to give it to the nearest degree. The nearest degree to 36.86, etc. is 37 degrees. So the size of the angle that we're looking for here, x, is 37 degrees, and that is to the nearest unit, to the nearest degree. Okay, let's take a look at a second example. So again, we're just going to follow these steps. So first off, label the triangle. This side here is my hypotenuse, it's opposite where the right angle is, it's the longest side of my triangle. Then 8, that is my opposite, because it's opposite where my angle is. And then 6, that is going to be my adjacent. So what I now need to do is tick or cross. What are the important parts? What are the parts of the triangle that have got something next to it? So the sides of the triangle that have something next to it is the O and the A. H has got nothing next to it, so we can cross it out. So what formula are we going to be using? Is our next step. We've ticked across, we're now choosing a formula. So I'm going to choose TOA. I'm going to use TOA because that is the formula that has got O and A in it. So SO has only got O and H. Ka has only got A and H. We need O and A, that's TOA. So next up, what we are then going to do is cover up the part that we're looking for. So we are looking for the angle. We've already got the adjacent, we've got the opposite. We're looking for the angle, which is that T part. So it is the tan. And because we're looking for the angle, we do the inverse, the tan of -1, and then it is the opposite divided by the adjacent, 8 divided by 6. So typing this into our calculator, shift tan, and then 8 divided by 6 gives us an answer of 53.13. Again, we'll round it to the nearest degree and call that 53 degrees. Next one. Again, let's start by labelling the triangle first. So labelling the triangle, this side here is the hypotenuse, it's the one that is the longest side, it's opposite where the right angle is. This side here is my opposite because it's opposite the angle that I'm looking for. This side here then must be my adjacent. Next I need to tick or cross. So tick the ones that have got something next to it, cross out the one that hasn't. That's that part done. Now I need to choose a formula. So the formula that I'm going to be choosing here, I've got O and I've got H, so I'm going to be using SO. Then I need to substitute into my formula, cover up the bit that I'm looking for. So again, I am looking for the angle. So I've already got the hypotenuse, I've already got the opposite. I'm looking for the angle. The angle is represented by that S. So the S stands for sin. Remember, it is the inverse of sin when you're finding an angle. So it's sin to the -1 of 4 divided by 10. I know that it's 4 divided by 10 because it tells me here that the opposite is divided by the hypotenuse. Opposite of 4, hypotenuse of 10. So, we've substituted into our formula. All that's left to do is to calculate. So shift, sin, and put in brackets 4 divided by 10, and that gives us an answer of, to the nearest degree, 24 degrees.